I bet you expected when you invented this vaccine, you would come to Congress and get a hero's welcome, that you'd get a Nobel Prize even for this. You had no idea that you were going to be castigated because of your success as well. So that's the two sides of this coin that we're concerned about. I want to back up to your time with your previous company, BioMirix.
Yeah, BioMérieux.
And at that time, the Wuhan laboratory, the BSL-4, Biosecurity Level 4 lab, was being made, and your predecessor had something to do with that. Did you keep track of the Wuhan lab being going up, and were you concerned about it?
So, Senator, BioMérieux had no involvement with the Wuhan lab. I was aware, of course, because BioMérieux is the leading company in infectious disease diagnostic. I was aware there was a new high-security lab being built in China, but I had zero involvement. My company has zero involvement.
Okay. Yeah, this is a pretty complex question. Is Moderna or Moderna executives had agreements with organizations in China, including the Wuhan Institute of Virology or with EcoHealth? And if so, what are the terms, and does Moderna owe any of those people any monies?
So we never had any agreement with Chinese labs or Wuhan labs, Senator.
Or EcoHealth?
I'm not aware of that lab.
Okay. Were you aware in September 2019 when the Wuhan lab and the Chinese took down their DNA lab bank? Were you aware of that pretty much in sequence with when that occurred?
I was not, Senator.
Okay. In September 2019 is when that occurred. And in December of 2019, you took your jointly owned mRNA coronal vaccine candidates to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill to work with Dr. Ralph Baric as well. What was the impetus to do that?
Thank you for the question, Senator. It was actually a vaccine for candidate against MERS, the Middle East Respiratory Syndrome, which is of the corona family, but of course not SARS-CoV-2, it's a different one.
But you had no idea that what was exploding in China already, probably since September?
No, I was made aware for the first time, as I said during my testimony, at the Christmas break. By reading the newspaper, there was a little article saying there was pneumonia-like symptom cases that were weird in Wuhan, which is why I directly contacted the NIH at that time to say, hey, are you aware about this? Because we had been working together on coronavirus, as you mentioned, because we believe that the highest risk of pandemic was...
You never worked with China? Never worked with the WIV?
At Moderna, no, sir.
Well, what about not in Moderna?
So when I was running BioMérieux before, we had a team in China. The company was in 40-plus countries, so we were selling product in China. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Senator Baldwin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This week, I'm proud to once again introduce my bipartisan Fair Drug Pricing Act with my colleague, Senator Braun. This would require drug companies to